Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Tuck here once again. Right, time for another review, and this time we are reviewing Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Hopefully I find a decent image to put there. Okay. Now, probably thinking I'm a little late with this. Well, that's because here in the PAL region we only got this game about a month ago. And even then I didn't actually pick it up right away because that's actually sort of a thing I need to point out right away. This game's pricey, okay? Ultimately, I think it's worth it, but it's 16 quid, you know, on a 3DS and Wii U, you know. It's out for both consoles. And yeah, it's a good length, you know, you'll be at this game for a while, I'd say. But for a 2D platformer, you know, it's hard to put down that sort of money for it, I think. You know, at least that's how I feel. Not to mention, they did that whole, like, bullshit cross-buy thing where it's not actually cross-buy, but if you buy it on one console, then you get it a little bit a deal on the other console, like 50% off, you know? I hate that shit, you know? It's like, why don't you just give me it for free if you're going to the bother of acknowledging that I bought it on one console, you know? It's like, I know I shouldn't be annoyed at that because, you know, any deal should be better than no deal at all, but I'd probably just prefer it if they didn't acknowledge it at all, because I may very well have double dipped on this, and again, I know I don't make any sense on that. It's just a personal thing that, because they did it with Shovel Knight as well. I need to get back to playing Shovel Knight. That was a good game that I stopped playing for some reason, but whatever. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Now, I'm quite a big Way Forward supporter. You know, Way Forward is the company that made Shantae. You know. And Shantae is kind of their mascot, you know? And I feel that Way Forward in general, you know, what is it that sort of like what is it about that company that people gravitate towards? You know, I was trying to think about that, and what I came up with is that they're still that sort of company that is, you know, positively retro, you know? Like, and not just like retro as in, you know, they make old style games, you know, it's like they make the 2D games based around sort of archaic genres, you know, like Metroidvania and, you know, just your typical, you know, 2D hack and slashes like Castlevania or something, and they always make them work really well. They always make them feel modern, but you still get that sort of retro vibe from them, and I feel like that's what draws people to them, and Shantae being their mascot, I feel does that the best, really, you know? There's been a lot of Way Forward games that I love. I loved like Blood Rain Betrayal, you know, a lot of people didn't like that. Alien Infestation for the DS, did anybody ever play that? That was brilliant. And the Mighty Switch Force games for the DS, 3DS, sorry, they're really good as well. My absolute favourite Way Forward game though, and the one that kind of cemented my fanhood of this company, was A Boy and His Blob for the Wii. Very, you know, good sort of cinematic almost platformer. You know, a lot of trial and error here. You feed the blob jelly beans, you solve puzzles. Brilliant art style, brilliant music. It's one of my favourite games of all time, honestly. But Shantae is a close second. Now, I first heard about Shantae when see, Shantae's kind of a complicated history, so I think I'll just reiterate it here really quickly. There's a total of 3 currently released Shantae games, with a 4th on the way that was on Kickstarter. The first one was released in 2002, the Game Boy Color. Very, very late Game Boy Color game, so it's really fucking mega rare now. But it's on the 3DS eShop now, the Virtual Console I should say. And I definitely recommend it. It's a very good Metroidvania Game Boy Color game. It wasn't until about, I think, what year was it? 2010 was it? That the sequel to Shantae finally came out, you know, and apparently Way Forward was attempting to get a sequel to Shantae out for a long time. You know, they experiment with her a lot on different consoles. But yeah, not until that long, it took them that long to make a sequel. And that sequel had one thing wrong with it, right? That thing wrong was the fucking console they released it on. They released it on the DSiWare system. The DSi, of course, being the later model of the DS, kind of like the new 3DS now, really. And it had its own exclusive download service, you know. And from what I've seen of the DSiWare store, and from what I've heard other people say, Shantae, Risky's Revenge, that was the full name of the game, was probably easily the most relevant thing on there. You know, like everything else was kind of, you know, like Way Forward had a couple of games on there, you know, but they were much smaller compared to Shantae, you know, and I just remember looking at screenshots for Shantae Risky's Revenge and thinking, oh man, that looks brilliant. You know, I was sort of attracted to that. It's like retro 2D platform Metroidvania shit. And I just remember thinking, but I don't have a DSi, and fuck. I ended up getting a DSi, like, partially because I wanted a bigger DS, and also partially because I wanted to play that game, and I did. And I enjoyed it. It's a really good game, but you can now get it on Steam, a Director's Cut version, which, you know, it's probably the best way to play. You can also get it on phones. For some reason they ported it to phones. And obviously you can get it on the 3DS because you can download all DSiWare games on the 3DS now, which is nice. So it's open to a lot of people now. And apparently they're going to be re-releasing it on the 3DS and Wii U on the same engine as this one that I'm supposed to be reviewing right here, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse is on. So I'll probably pick that up as well, honestly. But this one, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. So, looking at it, it looks like it was built on most of the same assets from Risky's Revenge. You know, all the sprites look the same and all that. The only difference being is that it's now in sort of widescreen and the console that it's on. Now, it was originally supposed to be developed exclusively for the 3DS, I'd imagine. But then they decided to port it to the Wii U. And you can tell, you know, like, a lot of the sprite work is very, Super Nintendo-esque, even though there are some bits of it that are HD and all that. So it's it looks a bit weird at times on the Wii U. You know, it never gets distracting. You know, you can just sort of, it's got that sort of retro charm to it, honestly. But yeah, if you couldn't tell already, I played this game on the Wii U, and it played just like any other Shantae game. You know, it was a 2D Metroidvania style game. You know, but you know the sort of gimmick of Shantae as a character, that is that she's a half genie. And being a half genie, she has the ability to transform into different animals by dancing, and you did that by doing like different combinations with the D-pad. You don't do that in this game, because she doesn't have any magic in this game. She actually lost it at the end of the second game, spoiler alert. Yeah, but she can still whip things with her hair. That's how she attacks. She whips things with her hair, which is really cool to see, you know? And, but it's just weird, you know, they took our magic away, and it's like, but the game is so similar to the other games that it just kind of feels pointless, really. But, how does the game play then? Well, it plays really well. You know, you just, you have like different islands that you can go to, and each island is its own like little mini hub world. And each island also has a dungeon to explore. Sometimes a lot of like mini dungeons as well. And yeah, there's a lot of content here. There's like 5 main islands, but there's also a bunch of other like smaller islands and a shitload of collectibles as well. Yeah, again, I've already said this, but content-wise it's fine, and control-wise it's good too. But like, I remember thinking this at the time. You get a lot of like upgrades, you know, as you would in a Metroidvania game. You know, you would let me think of one. You get a gun, for example, early in the game, and the gun is assigned to its own button, and every other upgrade is assigned to its own button as well. You know, by the end of the game, you've got like your jump button, your hair whip button, and okay, I don't want to spoil what all the upgrades are, but every button you use does something different, you know? And I remember just thinking, is it going to be easy to remember all this? Because I don't like it when controls are sort of spread out like that. You know, usually with something like that, you would have like a sort of menu system, and you would have like an item button that you would assign something to and then use it like that. But no, that wasn't the case. It all felt natural to me, and I'm surprised they were able to pull that off so well. But yeah, gameplay-wise, it's what you'd expect. If you're into that shit, you will like it. Now I'm quite into the style of Shantae, you know? Like, one thing about it that is kind of hard not to notice is that they like to make the girls very, they like to have the girls show a lot of skin. I'm sure the guys over at Polygon are just like gritting their teeth raging at this game, you know, with how much skin you actually see in this game. But, you know, just like the character stills and all that are all really nice, you know? You know, there are one or two moments that are kind of eyebrow raising. It's like, you really, really wanted to show off that much skin, didn't you? You know, they're just wearing some outfits that are really, really, show a lot, you know? In fact, there's one that was like, I'll put up an image of it here. There was one where, this outfit was used a lot in like the promotional material, you know? And honestly, I think it looks really cool, you know? It's like, I thought to myself, oh, do I get to wear this for most of the game? No, you only wear it for like one mini dungeon and then you can never put it on again. And I just remember thinking, oh, you know, it was weird, because again, they used it a lot in promotional material, and apparently the costume did return in one of the other games, you know, like the director's cut of Risky's boots, so that's there. But yeah, I really like the style of Shantae, you know, it feels very, it never feels like, you know, like they're just trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? It never feels like they're just showing TNA for the sake of TNA, you know, it all keeps very cute. In fact, one of my favourite things that Shantae has done in every game is that when you crouch down, she kind of wiggles her butt in the air, you know? Like, just try that in any of the games, you know? I'm just like, that is cute, that is very cute. The music is also really good. I can't say I really recall any music from the other Shantae games. In fact, to be honest, I'm replaying through the first Shantae game right now. I kind of wanted to go through them again, because I played them all and I remember enjoying them, but I can't remember that much of it. It's only with this game that I'm starting to like remember like all the characters' names, because they've got a sort of like set cast that they use in all the games, you know? But I never bothered to remember them. But in this game I did, so I guess plot-wise this is also like probably the strongest in the series. There's a lot of like fourth wall breaking, you know, a lot of self-awareness stuff, which is kind of which kind of fits the mood of Shantae as well, you know. But whatever, it was all done really well as well. But yeah, so I do really recommend this game, but again, that price is a bit nyeh. Now, Way Forward's going to be having a sale next week, because it's going to be like their 20th anniversary, was it? And this game is going to be like 25% off, so I'd pick it up then if you will. But I'd also say play the other games as well. Also, Way Forward, gonna remaster the first game, because as good as that game is, and it's cool to have it on the 3DS Virtual Console, I think it's in major need of like an upgrade. You know, you're gonna upgrade Risky's Revenge in that way, you know. I say do it to the first one as well, you know. And of course, for those of you who know, Shantae was also on Kickstarter there for Half Genie Hero, and they reached almost twice the amount of money they were looking for. I was a backer of that. I don't know when it's going to come out. I think it's still going to be a little while yet, but I'm really looking forward to that one, you know. I'll be picking that up for sure. I thought it was kind of weird though, because Shantae and the Pirate's Curse was coming out, but they still had Half Genie Hero on Kickstarter. So yeah, two different Shantae games were coming out, but you needed to kickstart one of them because there was that high a demand for Shantae. I don't know. I'm not gonna moan. I love this series, you know, and I just can't wait for more to come, basically. So yeah, that's that, guys. See you after. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.